Welcome, everyone. I'm Kimberly Boschman, and this is the Intentionally Intuitive Podcast. In this episode, we're going to take a look at the forecast for August 2024. We're going to break down each life path number and take a look at what this month could hold in store for you. This, of course, is a general forecast. If you would like your own personalized numerology reading or forecast, please book some time with me. My information is in the description box below. I would love to work with you. Also, if you haven't yet subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. And if you're on my YouTube channel, please go ahead and hit the notification bell so that you know when I drop a video. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at what August has in store. Life path number 6. You all are going to be working with the energy of the 13-4 for August. So communication, ambition, drive, these are all sort of at the forefront this month, especially communication, working, with others, making sure that the message is getting through, that you're communicating in a way that others can, this being received and that others can understand. Potentially opening lines of communication where maybe they've been closed, maybe there's been miscommunication. This might call for you to be a little bit of the bigger person this month. But it's really making sure that you're touching base with the people that you need to touch base with, that you're opening those lines of communication, that you're reaching out and asking for what you need, that you're being assertive, potentially even recognizing where your limitations are and reaching out to the people who may have those strengths to help you. But communication is really going to be at the forefront this month. So you may also see that someone reaches out to you that you haven't spoken to in a while, or maybe you sent, a request for something months ago and haven't heard anything back, and now all of a sudden you hear back. So you could see those lines of communication being, wide open. You could also see your inbox be full, again, hearing from people you haven't heard from in ages. So yeah, it could be a busy month for communication. I would also say be mindful of, again, just make sure that you're being as clear as possible with what you say, right? With your messaging. Again, you don't have control over how another person receives it, but just make sure that you're being very clear, that you're following up, you're following through when it comes to communication, because there could be some disruptions this month with communication where, again, there could be some miscommunication. So you just want to make sure that you're doing your due diligence to make sure that you're crossing your eyes. See, great communication. That you're crossing your T's and dotting your I's this month when it comes to your messaging. Also, like I said, this could be a month for greater ambition, greater drive, feeling really inspired, feeling excited or even a little anxious to get started on something. Maybe there's been a feeling of, feeling stuck or feeling unmotivated. You could feel that motivation come in full force this month because you are working with that one energy in the 13. So yeah, I would say that if you've been sort of holding off on initiating something, being more assertive, speaking up for what you want, this is a great month to do it. And again, I would say, be assertive, but be mindful of how you do that. So you don't want to come across as too pushy or too controlling or too aggressive. You want to make sure that you're delivering your message in a way that it can be easily digested and received, and not where people are going to get their defenses up. Should you be honest? Absolutely. But just be mindful of the messaging is what I'm trying to say here. This would not be a month to sort of antagonize or to push people's buttons with your words, because that could boomerang back to you where, you could see that energy or that emotions are running hot this month by others, right? So you just want to make sure that your messaging is kind and clear, and you'll likely see the results that you want to see. But if you bring the fuel to the fire, you might see an explosion. So this could be a month where, again, if you provoke someone, you could see that flame combust, right? So into an explosion. So you just want to be careful about how, I don't want to say careful, but just be mindful about how you're presenting your your words, your messaging. The other thing is, I would say also, remember that you get to choose how you participate and how you engage. So other people may be coming at you a little bit more aggressively, a little bit more, heated. And just remember, you don't have to engage. You can let them know that you will revisit this conversation when, it's more conducive to a healthy conversation, that you're not here to debate. You're not here to sort of be lashed out at. So it may come that, you just have to be very mindful about how you communicate, but also how you engage in those communications and conversations with others. You, again, might be called to be the bigger person this month. So definitely this is going to be a time to speak up, though. If there's something where you've been kind of skirting the issue, not really wanting to rock the boat, this is going to be a month that's going to push you to speak your mind. So then the question becomes, what do you continue to just put up with because you are too worried about speaking up for yourself? And this energy will push you to, speak up and to sort of no longer engage in the same way that you've been engaging if it's bringing you grief, right? Or conflict, or, just feeling overly burdened or overly committed. This would be a time to get serious about your creativity now. So anytime we have a 3 in a cycle, and you do with the 13-4, it asks us to take a closer look at our contributions, our creativity, what brings us joy, what makes us happy, where we feel inspired, and where, what drains our inspiration, and to get serious about, putting more of our energy and our focus into what lights us up, what brings us joy. And, again, being assertive about that, and, sort of facing any opposition that we may receive with our, stepping into our creativity and our authenticity, meeting that with poise and, expressing ourselves, and not sort of being deterred by other people's expectations of us. This is definitely going to be a time, because the 13 energy is about, death, transformation, rebirth. It's about some kind of change, transformation, evolution that's moving us in a greater way towards our goals, where it is that we want to be moving towards. So this is definitely going to be a time to be fearless and to say yes to the adventure and to not fight the change, whatever wants to come in. This could be a very enlightening period for you, where you get insights into, greater projects, or, better ways to spend your time. And that could be with relationships, with work, with, again, just creative pursuits, whatever that may be, how you express yourself. You could see this period, even though it's a shorter period, it's only a month long, but you could see this as a great metamorphosis, a great sort of initiation for greater change in your own personal life, in your own personal experience, and where you need to get serious about and sort of have an action plan and be strategic about, your own identity, your expression, your creativity, how you communicate, how you show up to relationships, and how you engage in those relationships, what you accept, what you don't accept. So this could be a great sort of freeing period for you, or at least sort of give you the insight for what's coming down the pipeline for you when it comes to expressing yourself in a way that feels good for you and isn't necessarily about pleasing others or accommodating others' expectations or making others comfortable while you are uncomfortable. So very empowering energy with the 13-4, but it will require you to commit, right? So if you, recognize a part of yourself that needs to change, then this is going to ask you to commit to that process and to really see it through to completion, because in the end, you will be stepping into your own authenticity, right? Even though there will be opposition, even though there will be people who don't like this new you. That's okay. They don't have to. It's interesting too, because you will also be working with the vibration of prairie dog. So that's your animal wisdom for August. And it's interesting because prairie dogs work in communities. They live in communities. They work in communities. They communicate. If you've ever seen sort of a village of prairie dogs, there's one that's on the lookout for predators. They're always doing their little chirps and sort of their little dances to alert the rest of the community of what's going on. So there's constant communication within these communities. And so again, I think the key word for you all this month is going to be communication, and really finding ways to communicate with others, not only in a way that feels good for you, but that also gets your point across without sort of pushing buttons or getting the defenses up of others. Working together, finding ways to better work side by side, communicating for the greater good of the whole, right? So again, this could be a month where you find your community, where you feel more that sense of community. And so that can be really feel very uplifting as well. But it's definitely going to be a focus on how we communicate, where there needs to be some modifications for that, and to be able to express ourselves in a way that feels good and to where we feel heard. So big energy this month for you all. It can feel slow moving because you've got that 4 energy, but it's going to be worth the effort, right? Anytime we have a 4 cycle, any effort put forth will bring or yield rewards in direct proportion to that effort. So it is worth the commitment. It is worth the effort to see it through to completion. So beautiful energy. I hope it's a great month. Take care. Bye for now.